I'm Mark Allen Goodman. This is Daniel Schlett. We're at Strange Weather, and you're watching Burl TV. So our previous system was Apogees, with AD and DA16Xs. And we'd been using them happily for, maybe 4 years. And we brought the Mothership in, and we had a isochrone. We had the Antelope clock at the time, the OCX, I think it's called. We were using that, and that was a real step up with the Apogees. And we brought some friends over. We just decided to do some random testing. So we put on some music and listened back to 2 tracks through it. And then we opened up some sessions and listened to, multiple tracks coming out of it at once. And then we tracked some stuff through it and listened back out through the Apogees as 2 tracks. And kind of did every combination we could come up with and changed the clocks. And all day long, we picked the Burls over and over and over. It was ridiculous. It just blew them out of the water. It changed the way the whole room sounded. Our old space, we didn't have room for a tape machine. I'd been working at Studio G before that, and, worked all the time on the Studio 24-track machine, and loved the sound. And the Apogees never really got us there, and, digital still felt a little stiff to me. That whole world opened up when we got the Mothership. All of a sudden, there was no limits on what we could do. So we were happy with the Mothership at the previous space and had 32 outs, but it was a full Mothership at the time. And there was no way that we were going to go back to some other company's converters after working with it for a year and a half. So it meant adding a second Mothership. That's what we had to do. We did it happily.
Yeah. It wasn't going to be like choosing the bad converters now. Like, oh, well, I can put my vocal through this. And then I guess I'll put the shaker tracks through like whatever else, product X. It was just like, I don't want to think about it. I just want to know all 48 channels of the desk have 48 discrete electronic outputs. All 32 inputs have transformer balanced ins, We just finished a record with a band called The Men. They're a New York band signed to Sacred Bones Records. They did 16 songs, track and mix, in 3 days. No headphones. Everybody in the room once. Most of the time they didn't even listen back. They were like, that felt great, let's jump to the next tune. And when the horn player showed up, we put one RCA 77 up, and the horn players were in that, and they just played next to the drum set. I pushed half a gobo between them, and, it's just about a band playing together and, like, getting the vibe. We cranked the vocals back through the speakers mounted in the live room, just, like, so that people could hear the singer, It's great. Actual people playing. It's really nice. Up until the Mothership, it was like the converters were a part of our computer system. It was like, this is some gear that hooks up to the computer, and then we're mostly an analog studio. And now it's just like, I think about how hard I'm hitting that as like, how hard do I want to turn this Neve up? How much character do I want to impart on this sound? And I can get that one more step of the way with that. And it's like not part of my computer system. Because as Mark will tell you, I'm really not a big fan of computers. I try to use them.
We call him Grandpa Dan around here.
Try to have that to be as little part of my life as possible, and I just never think of the Burl as like part of our computer system, which is awesome for me.
It's really caused me to quest for the third dimension in recordings. People always talk about the stereo imaging, and stereo imaging is all fine in speaker setups, but it's a lot harder to move things backwards and forwards and to get things to feel like they're in an actual space together.
Totally.
And the Mothership was a big step up in that direction for us. And I feel like digital in general wasn't there. Converters couldn't make that depth happen the way that a tape machine could make it happen. And now I don't question it at all. The future has arrived.